Religion, the most effective weapon ever devised to kill in the name of God. Throughout human history, religion has been a double-edged sword, a source of hope, unity, and moral compass for many, but also a devastating tool of division, conquest, and mass murder. No other ideology or institution has been more successful in convincing humans to kill each other righteously than religion. From ancient holy wars to modern jihadist terrorism, the story of blood spilled in the name of divine belief is not a side note in history. It is one of its dominant chapters. The ancient roots of sacred violence. Violence in the name of the gods began almost as early as civilization itself. The Assyrians, Babylonians, and Egyptians frequently invoked divine authority when justifying war. Mesopotamian kings often claimed they were acting on behalf of deities, conquering neighboring lands as divine duty. In the Bible's Old Testament, the Israelites under Joshua commit genocide against Canaanite tribes with God's explicit approval. The phrase "God wills it" has echoed across millennia as both justification and rallying cry for slaughter. In India, the Bhagavad Gita depicts a moral dilemma in war where Krishna tells Arjuna to fulfill his duty and kill because it is part of divine cosmic law. Even in Eastern spiritual traditions, often romanticized as peaceful, war has had its sacred sanction. 2. Christianity and the Crusades, a millennium of bloodshed. Few examples are more brutal than the Crusades, religious wars sanctioned by the papacy beginning in the 11th century. Launched by Pope Urban II, the First Crusade, 1096 to 1099, called on European Christians to take back the Holy Land from Muslim control. What followed was a series of massacres, not only against Muslims, but Jews and even other Christians. In 1099, Crusaders entered Jerusalem and killed tens of thousands. Blood, according to chroniclers, ran knee-deep in the streets of the Holy City. And yet, this was hailed in Europe as a divine triumph. Later, the Inquisition, particularly the Spanish Inquisition, used the authority of the Catholic Church to torture and execute heretics, Muslims, and Jews. Thousands were burned alive or forced to convert at sword point. It was not about faith, it was about control, power, and empire. 3. Islam and the spread by sword. The early Islamic caliphates expanded rapidly through military conquest. Within 100 years of Prophet Muhammad's death, Islamic forces had reached Spain in the west and India in the east. The wars were often framed as jihad, not simply territorial expansion, but holy war. The Ottoman Empire later justified wars in Europe and Persia through Ghazi ideology, sacred warrior campaigns. Non-Muslims were given 3 choices: convert, pay the jizya tax, or die. While Islamic civilizations contributed significantly to art, science, and philosophy, their rulers did not hesitate to invoke religion when justifying brutality. 4. The 30 Years' War, 1618 to 1648. Christian on Christian carnage. The 30 Years' War, fought primarily in Central Europe, began as a conflict between Protestant and Catholic factions. It turned into one of the most destructive wars in European history, resulting in over 8 million deaths, most from famine and disease caused by the war's devastation. Armies were often composed of mercenaries who looted and massacred indiscriminately, all under the guise of defending the true faith. Colonialism, evangelism with a bayonet. European empires used religion as a key tool of conquest and control. Missionaries followed colonizers into the Americas, Africa, and Asia, often accompanying military forces. Entire civilizations were destroyed under the banner of the cross. In Latin America, Spanish conquistadors like Hernán Cortés and Francisco Pizarro annihilated the Aztec and Inca civilizations, with the blessing of the Catholic Church. Indigenous people were baptized or butchered. Forced conversions, slavery, and cultural genocide were all justified as saving souls. 6. Modern religious violence. In the 20th and 21st centuries, the story continues. The partition of India in 1947 led to over 1 million deaths, largely from Hindu-Muslim sectarian violence. The creation of Pakistan as a Muslim homeland, and the bloody migration that followed, was one of the largest episodes of religious killing in modern history. In the Middle East, extremist groups like Al-Qaeda and ISIS have used distorted interpretations of Islam to justify bombings, executions, and mass enslavement. From the 9/11 attacks to the Yazidi genocide, religion has been weaponized with terrifying efficiency. In Myanmar, Buddhist nationalism has driven the ethnic cleansing of the Muslim Rohingya minority. In the United States, Christian fundamentalism has inspired acts of domestic terrorism, while in Israel-Palestine, religious identity remains at the heart of an intractable and deadly conflict. 7. Why religion kills so effectively. Religion, unlike other ideologies, offers something eternal, divine justification. It removes individual responsibility by transferring it to a higher power. A soldier killing in war is one thing. A believer convinced they are carrying out God's will is far more dangerous. When killing is framed as sacred duty, conscience is silenced and violence becomes virtue. Religious institutions have also historically been among the most hierarchical and unaccountable, allowing power to be centralized and abuses covered up. From the Vatican shielding child abusers to madrasas teaching hatred, the sacred mask often hides profane motives. 8. Religion as a political weapon. It's crucial to understand that religion alone is not always the root. Often, religion is the tool used by those in power, kings, popes, presidents, to manipulate the masses. It becomes the veil of legitimacy draped over greed, imperialism, and tribalism. Even today, politicians across the world invoke God in speeches while selling weapons, waging wars, or enabling inequality. Whether it's American presidents ending speeches with "God bless America" while bombing foreign countries, or Islamist leaders using Friday sermons to incite violence, the pattern remains. Conclusion: from God's word to man's war. Religion has inspired art, compassion, and community, but it has also served as history's most lethal psychological weapon. More people have been killed in its name than for oil, land, or gold. Its power to sanctify murder, to create holy enemies, and to suppress moral questioning makes it a tool like no other. Until humanity learns to separate faith from institutionalized dogma and spiritual truth from political control, religion will remain not just a belief system, but a battlefield.